Hello, how are you today? Do you want to dive into a book that might just surprise you, whether it becomes your next favorite or one you might skip? Let's find out what readers are saying about it.
April Catching Up, who has 313 likes, says, 4.5 stars. You think you're unlovable. But I think I've never known how to love until knowing you. This was so cute and gave me the perfect amount of comfort that I was looking for. Beg, Borrow, or Steal is the third installment in the When in Rome series. This easily became my favorite so far, with the rivalry at every turn to the friendship and onward to lovers. This is not just a book filled with witty banter, tension, and romance. It delves into heavier topics of grief, depression, and narcissistic parent into a journey of healing. This had me giggling, kicking my feet, and feeling downright sad during some moments, but loving it all the same. The story follows Emily and Jack, who have been each other's nemesis since college. A decade later, teaching at the same school, they compete with each other over everything until Jack moves away. Suddenly, he is back in town after breaking off his engagement and is now Emily's new neighbor. She tries everything to get him out of town until she needs his help after sending an email. Mistakenly, Emily Walker was one of those characters that I loved, many qualities about her and some that I didn't like. I didn't love her, but also I didn't hate her. Actually, I like her a lot. Let's start with what I adore about her. She is strong-willed and often speaks her mind. I can relate to speaking her mind because I often do as well. She is protective of those she loves, especially her siblings, being the oldest daughter and having lost her parents at a young age. It is understandable. Another quality is that she is a perfectionist, which I can also relate to, though not on the same level. There are some things that I am and some that I am not. The things that I just couldn't get with is her constant need to give everyone else advice but not take it for herself until towards the end. Don't get me wrong, I loved that it took her time to grow. I just felt like it was 2 steps forward and then 3 back. But when she finally took advice from her sister and set her fears aside to show and feel her emotions, I was rooting her. As all good and unbearable perfectionists know, if you want something done right, you mostly have to do it yourself. Jack Bennett is just a green flag all around. You guys, he wears glasses, has tattoos, and rides a motorcycle. Talk about making me melt for him. Growing up with a narcissistic father, he strived to never be that way, going out of his way to read people, turning on his charm to win them over. I didn't find it a fault, it was a way for him to cope with his upbringing and not to be like or treat people the way he saw his father do his whole life. It made him more caring and attentive to what others needed. In this, he was able to see exactly what Emily needed, being able to care for her the way she needed. And if this didn't make me love him, then the way that he is possessive in the best of ways did. He was just perfect to me in every way, because I may be a lot of things, but I never want to be the kind of person who can't apologize when I am in the wrong. I grew up around someone who was a real dick and never said he was sorry, so I don't know. I just don't want to repeat his pattern. And I was firmly in the wrong today. So again, I am very sorry. Emily and Jack went from rivals at every turn to a slow budding friendship, building layers and into a relationship of understating one another and taking things at a slow pace. I absolutely loved the tension, banter, and chemistry between them on their paths of each phase. I absolutely loved their email and text exchanges. They had me cracking up, even laughing out loud with their bickering. Though it took her a while to fully trust him, as she had been hurt in the past and had feared loving someone again. He had some things to work through as well, being able to overcome his upbringing and treat her with the care that she needed to feel loved. I loved the way that they didn't tiptoe around the other's traumas but communicated through them too. Grow not only as individuals but together. They were honestly so cute together. Maybe not everything will end in hurt, but we'll never know if we don't try. the way that I was also eating up the scenes with the characters from the previous books. I loved being back in this small town with them. I didn't know how much I missed Noah, Amelia, Annie, Will, Madison, James, and even Mabel until I was back in Rome. This book fulfilled everything that I was looking for and needing. Though I had some issues with Emily, that may a me problem, I still loved it. I can't wait to be in this town with Madison and James. I will be seeing you soon. Rome, Kentucky. Favorite quotes and moments. And when she found me watching, she told me to find someone someday who will hug me when I am sad and then help me look on the bright side of things when all I can see is the dark. No one needs me. And when they don't need me, they don't come around anymore either because I am a utility sponge. I am useful. And if I am no use to someone anymore, they throw me under the sink. You've seen a woman's body. Mine is no different. He pauses, a thick crease forming between his brows. Emily, you're the difference. Coming back home alone is so much more preferable to always stressing and wondering if I am going to be enough for someone or if I am going to say too much, show too much of myself, and scare them away when I am just getting comfortable. You are not alone. Emily, I would walk through my worst memories to get to you every single time. Life can be a little shit sometimes, but shit also makes great fertilizer. Grow from your experiences. Don't let them smother the light out of you. Maybe not everything will end in hurt, but we'll never know if we don't try. And to think you consider yourself hard to love. I kiss her temple. Loving you is the easiest thing I've ever done. Preread in need of something on the lighter side. Also, I am ready to be back in Rome, Kentucky with this rivals to lovers romance. Lilia, who has 198 likes, says, 2.75 stars. I approached this book with high expectations, especially after the exhilarating experience of the second installment in the series. The dynamic between the academic rivals, who transitioned from their college years to teaching at the same small-town school, was a delightful aspect of Beg, Borrow or Steal. Their verbal jousts were absolutely delicious. However, I couldn't help but feel that the characters' depth and their day-to-day struggles and mental health were underexplored, which could have further enriched the narrative. Some plot elements, such as both protagonists being teachers and authors, felt too coincidental. Additionally, I found the male lead's decision to traverse the globe to be with his ex-fiancé, someone he never truly loved but was going to marry, to be quite unsettling, given that he and the female protagonist had shared a deep connection over the years. This choice felt inconsistent. All in all, it was a fast-paced read, and I especially loved reconnecting with some dear characters and to be thrown once again in the hilarious neighborhood of Rome. Many thanks to NetGalley and the publishers for providing an EARC in exchange for an honest review. What do you mean I just got the ARC? Maddie, who has 113 likes, says, I absolutely loved this book. It was everything I could have hoped for. Fun, sweet, and packed with swoony moments. Emily is such a gem. She's hardworking, a bit chaotic in the best way, and totally passionate about her job. She's also the oldest daughter, and that really added an extra layer to her character. She always had my heart breaking, and I found myself crying multiple times because of her struggles, her love for her family, her dedication to everything she does, and her own personal challenges were so relatable and touching. And Jaxai, he was perfect. He's grumpy on the outside but has such a soft heart underneath. I really loved how, despite his cool and laid-back exterior, he showed Emily that he cares more than he lets on. He's the kind of guy who takes care of people in his own quiet way. And it was so heartwarming to see him open up more as the story went on. Their relationship was absolutely adorable. The years of rivalry between them turned into something so sweet and genuine. I loved watching them go from constantly competing to finding themselves on the same team, helping each other out. The tension between them was so good, and their banter was fun and full of sparks. As they began to trust each other more and let down their walls, it felt so natural to watch them fall in love. The way they supported one another made my heart melt. This book was such a sweet, feel-good romance with so much heart. Emily and Jack have definitely stolen my heart, and I am still thinking about them long after finishing the book. Robin, who has 146 likes, says, "The sunshine character who is nice to everyone except one person. Ooh yeah, I love this. Read my full review. The scene of him bursting into her living room holding her manuscript full of his notes was giving married couple. Also, there is something so profoundly hot about someone not only believing in your competence and approach but expecting that excellence. HMMMBUT. If you don't want to hate her, fine. I'll hate her enough for the both of us." To me, this is romance. Thank you to NetGalley for providing the review copy in exchange for an honest review. Bookstagram blog. Anne, who has 370 likes, says, 3.5 stars in this rivals to lovers romance. Emily Walker and Jack Bennett are second-grade teachers who can't stand each other and to make things more complicated, they're neighbors. Emily's world is shaken when Jack returns to town after breaking off his engagement. And now he's not only her neighbor again but also her colleague. As they clash over everything, things take an unexpected turn when Emily accidentally sends an email to the principal that could reveal her secret career as a romance writer. Needing help to retrieve her manuscript, she reluctantly turns to Jack, and as they team up, their rivalry quickly turns into something much more heated. I did find this book enjoyable, but honestly, it felt pretty mid-nothing to groundbreaking. I am a little embarrassed because my expectations were pretty high going in. I gave the first 2 books in this series great ratings a year ago, so I assumed I'd love this one too. But after reading it, I realized my taste has changed quite a bit since then. I honestly can't even remember the characters from the first 2 books. That being said, Sarah Adams' writing is still nice and enjoyable. It's lighthearted, sweet, and makes for a breezy read. But it didn't leave a lasting impression or feel all that memorable. She's great for a fun, easy read, but sadly, that's about it for me right now. It was very bingeable, though I ended up reading most of it in one sitting. But by the time I reached the last 30, I kind of zoned out and had to push through to finish. It just didn't have that wow factor to keep me fully engaged all the way through. When it comes to the characters, Emily, as the oldest sibling, constantly feels the weight of responsibility constantly on her shoulders, and it often leaves her feeling disconnected from others. She's the one everyone turns to, always putting their needs before her own, which leaves her with little time or energy to focus on herself. This has made it difficult for her to open up, especially when it comes to love. Deep down, she's afraid to get too close to anyone, worried that no one will truly love her for who she is beneath her perfect exterior. Instead, she feels like people only put up with her because of the role she plays, making it even harder for her to be vulnerable and authentic. Jack, on the other hand, was shaped by a narcissistic father, which left him with a deep need to seek approval and always try to please others. At first, it seems like he's always trying to win people over with charm. But what stood out to me is that he doesn't let this need for validation control him entirely. Despite the emotional baggage from his upbringing, Jack is actively working to overcome it, striving to become a better version of himself. As much as I appreciate Sarah Adams trying to make these struggles feel real and relatable, I couldn't help but feel like it was a bit underdeveloped. Things wrapped up too quickly. And while I get that this is meant to be a light-hearted romance, I just needed more depth. It didn't deliver for me on that front. I should have lowered my expectations based on my previous ratings from a year ago because my tastes have shifted, and I need a bit more from a book these days. But that's just a personal thing. The romance was cute and fun, nothing that really blew me away. But it definitely did the job. I enjoyed the playful banter between Emily and Jack. It was lighthearted and funny, which made their interactions enjoyable to read. While the chemistry between them wasn't exactly electric, I found myself rooting for them as a couple, especially as their rivalry turned into something more. The slow burn and their moments of vulnerability added a nice layer to their dynamic, even if it wasn't anything too extraordinary. Ultimately, it wasn't the most memorable romance, but it was sweet and definitely kept me engaged enough to want them to get their happy ending. Overall, I would still recommend this book. It's heartwarming, light, and sweet, with that cozy small-town charm. It's a perfect pick if you're looking for something easy and fun to read. But just don't go in expecting a ton of depth. Thank you to NetGalley and Hachette Australia New Zealand for the ARC. The release date is approaching, so I am finally picking this up. I am so excited I just got approved for the ARC.